Hey guys, today I'm going to be telling you a story about a railroad. And this is my made-up railroad. That is my HO scale, what my HO scale train layout will be called. United American Pacific, no, it's just American Pacific Rail Lines. Okay, so guys, this story all starts on a morning, just like any other morning, at the American Pacific Railroad. Their main locomotive, Union Pacific, number 4432, was getting ready to pull its first freight train of the season. But little did they know that day would be one of the most scariest days for the entire railroad. The engine departed at 2:55 a.m. that morning. They were making good time for what they needed to do, and everything was going according to plan. The shunting yard was clear, and the whole train line had its things ready. But just a couple hours later, no one knew that a disaster was going to strike. American Pacific Railroad trolley was getting ready to do its main run, but little did they know the train was coming. And then it happened. The trolley was stuck on the front of the freight train. And to make matters worse, the railroad was short-staffed that day, which means that the main people in the brake van of the train were untrained people who didn't really know what they were doing. They tried to get to the locomotive, but it was no use. The locomotive slowly started to speed up until it reached max speed. the trolley was starting to falter. And the freight train was not stopping for anyone. Suddenly, another train was coming down the rail line just ahead of the freight train. And this freight train would end up slamming and derailing both the trolleys. And then, wham! It derailed itself. Thankfully, everybody on board the locomotive in the trolleys were able to jump clear from the crash before it happened. But the boxcar full of TNT ignited, sending pieces of bits and rubble and even the other boxcar on top of the engine. The driver and fireman that day unfortunately ended up getting injured very badly. And the crew in the caboose ended up getting thrown from their posts. Soon, the wreckage was starting to be cleared. One of the boxcars were moved out of the wreckage site, and the engine was slowly being pulled back onto the tracks. Fortunately, the engine sustained no damage during the crash besides a minor brake failure, because none of the staff in the caboose were trained. The locomotive was not able to stop under its own power, but anyways, yeah, pieces were recovered from the crash, but unfortunately, the trolleys were damaged beyond repair. Surprisingly, the TNT boxcar was able to survive being blown completely off the tracks. After the accident, the railroad manager ended up arriving on scene.